I'm Wing from the Starling Tribune, a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Crimson Comet, a fan podcast about the TV show dedicated to the Scarlet Speedster himself, CW's The Flash. Welcome to episode 10 of Crimson Comet. This week we'll be discussing The Flash Season 1, Episode 9, The Man in the Yellow Suit. I'm your host, Haley, aka Awesome Engineering Girl.
I'm John, a.k.a. Lobster.
And I'm Will, a.k.a. Rum Daddy.
And if you're a fan of Crimson Comet,
like we are,
like we all are, you can check out our website, crimsoncometpodcast.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Crimson Podcast. Like our Facebook page, Crimson Comet Podcast. Or leave us a voicemail at 423-FLASH-53. That's 423-352-7453. You can also leave feedback on the GonnaGeek.com forums at forums.gonnageek.com or search for Gonna Geek on the Tapatalk app.
Tapatalk. Hey guys!
Speaking of feedback, welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. God, I missed you guys.
We are reunited, and it feels so good.
And it feels so good.
Reunited.
That was a crazy week we had last week. I was in Starling City, Haley was in Central City, and Will was hanging out with the cast of Supernatural.
Yes, I was. It was fun.
I have to ask, did you grab any butts?
I did not grab any butts. They were all facing me. But
their anacondas didn't want none.
But Misha Collins has really big hands.
Good to know.
I shook his hand, and I've got big hands, and he's got really big hands.
You know what they say about guys with big hands? It's
big
hard
gloves?
to find gloves, yeah. It's really tough. It's big gloves.
Very nice.
Sure.
Very, very nice. We had a really great time. It was a bunch of people, cast members singing Christmas carols and having a good time. The primaries were not there, go figure. So Sam Dean were not there, nor was
Crowley.
Mark nor was Crowley. Yeah, Crowley wasn't there either. But Misha was there, and Misha's wife, and a bunch of the other guys. The guy who played the writer, a few of the other people who keep popping up on the show every once in a while. It was a good time. I took some pictures. There were a lot of girls dressed up. It was fun.
Dressed up as, or just dressed up?
Just dressed up in weird costumey things.
Cool.
There were several Castiels. There was a girl with light up angel wings. They had a costume contest at the end of the evening. They gave away all sorts of prizes. We did a lot of drinking. Oh, this is the best. We ran into two couples that were in Los Angeles from the Inland Empire who were a lot of fun, and it started getting weird, and that's all I have to say.
It started getting weird.
You can't just stop there.
At one point, I was like, all right, this just got weird. Because they introduced themselves as there was an American couple and a couple from England and an American couple, and they were telling us how they met their neighbors and all this blah blah blah. And then at one point I turn around and they had swapped partners.
Hey, talk about meeting the neighbors. You know what I mean?
Hello. It must get really boring out there in the Inland Empire, let me tell you.
That's right.
And then they're like, what are you guys doing? Come party with us. They got really drunk. I'm like, no, I got to go home.
You got a podcast to record, man.
I got a podcast to record. Look at the time. Got to go. Bye.
I have used that excuse before.
Yeah, sorry. I got to go record a podcast.
You mean we don't do this live?
Remember to ask me sometime about the really terrible date that involved his mother.
Wait, we did talk about this before, didn't we?
Yeah, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast.
Does that also involve swapping partners?
God, I hope not.
Oh.
that would have really gotten weird.
So did we get any feedback this week, guys?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's find out, because I don't know what they would be giving us feedback on, because...
We did watch a show, right?
Well, this show was filled with a bunch of strangers last week, so...
Yep, stranger danger.
Who knows? But let's hear it. Feedback.
Did we get any email?
Yeah, we got some email. Actually, we got an email from Rick Rifle, who's one of my part-time co-hosts on Small Scream. He said, Okay, I know we're all supposed to have had the big revelation that the P-Streak is Dr. Nefarious, but he beat himself up in the force field. How is he in two places at once? Unless he is remotely controlling the P-Streak with the big metal X thingy he put on the chest in the closing scene. What am I missing? And about tachyons. A tachyon, or tachyonic particle, is a hypothetical particle that always moves faster than light. So if he steals a tachyon thingy and then beats himself up, isn't that some kind of improbability loop? I need a drink. Yeah, well. First of all, let's go back and thank Rick for giving us our newest nickname, that instead of the yellow streak,
the brown streak. The yellow streak.
And now we have the P-Streak.
Well, we're working front to back, so
yeah,
that's good.
Number 1 and number 2.
Back to front. No.
There you go.
Yeah, number 1 and number 2. Come on.
So this show is never without its potty jokes.
No, we're all about the dirty underwear here.
Always wear clean underwear. You never know when you're going to get into an accident, then you end up in the hospital.
But then, if you're in the accident, don't you just go automatically? I mean, does it matter? I don't know.
Right? Like you lose control?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the accident.
Oops. So, what do we think about his letter?
All right. I don't know if it's Dr. Nefarious. I think it might be Professor Zoom. Professor Zoom. And we're going to talk about this a lot because there's several different reverse flashes, and there's several different explanations for what Wells is up to.
Right.
So I don't want to dig too far into it, but I do want to talk about the tachyons, because we did get the reveal of that. And as an avid fan of Star Trek, as we've established, I know all about tachyon particles. And
that's where I heard it before. I'm like, where have I heard
absolutely.
Yeah. Star Trek, of course, yeah. And I have a question. Has Dr. Wells appeared in any of the previous comic books or incarnations?
I don't think there's been a character named Dr. Wells.
There is not a character named Dr. Wells, but I have a theory about the name Dr. Wells, so maybe we can get to that in a bit.
Stay tuned.
Unless you want to hear it right now, but yeah.
Well, let's get on to other feedback then, unless you want to talk about this right now.
Yeah, let's do other feedback, and then we'll dig into this episode, because there is a lot to talk about.
Right.
I brought a shovel.
So our friend Andomingo on Twitter said, so either it was Iris's boyfriend in the suit, or the showrunners really want us to believe that Dr. Wells let himself get beat up.
I think Wells let himself get beat up.
I think he let himself get beat up, and then there's reasons. There's reasons.
Okay, let's keep going with the feedback, and we'll get back to that, because we'll talk about these reasons.
Okay. And then our friend Adam sent us a voicemail, so let's go on ahead and listen to that now.
Hey guys, this is Adam. Probably going to have to watch the mid-season finale again before I completely gathered my thoughts, but I'm really hoping that despite what they teased at the end, Wells isn't actually Reverse Flash. I'm sure he could have figured out some trick to be in two places at once with his super speed, but I just really don't like the idea of him being the big bad this season. It's a little too much like Slade Wilson going from being Oliver's mentor on the island to the big bad, and like I said, just hoping for something a little different. But I did like how they made Reverse Flash a clear threat, and that they tied things in, like the fact that it was probably Barry himself who saved Barry there, and that's how he ended up a long ways away from home. Also, really stoked about Mark Hamill being Trickster like he was in the 90s show, which I'm assuming you guys are going to talk about in the news segment. From what I read, they're actually playing that he's currently in prison, and just from stuff he did earlier, maybe, in the early 90s or something. So that'll be really interesting. Can't wait to see what happens there. Bye.
What? Mark Hamill?
Who's that? I think he did a couple independent movies in the 70s. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
it was
I
that guy
probably
from
haven't seen
Corvette
him.
Summer. It was that guy from Corvette Summer.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, not that good.
So Mark Hamill will be returning to the Flash universe, having played Trickster in the 90s Flash.
Isn't that the role that got him the gig as the voice of the Joker?
Yeah.
I feel like it might be, yeah.
Okay, one thing. I have a feeling, or I think that they're beginning to incorporate the CBS show from the 90s into this show. And I think they exist in the same universe. And here's why. Because Mark Hamill played the Trickster in the 90s TV show. And then he's coming back and playing the exact same character. So I think that it's going to be the same character. And then Christina McGee from Mercury Labs in this episode is being played by the exact same girl who played Christina McGee in the 90s episode. And she already talks about having had a history with Wells. And in the 90s episode, she was the one who created the suit for Barry Allen to wear.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Isn't it? It's interesting that Barry's dad is John Wesley Shipp, who played the original Flash in the 90s.
Holy ship.
Exactly. So I'm starting to think that what we're watching as the Flash is a continuation of what they started in the 90s. And that Barry's dad was the Flash in the 90s.
You know, I would buy that because we know time travel is involved in the show, right?
Yes.
Right.
So that was an original course of events, and then time travel happened, and this is an alternate sequence of events.
The multiverse.
Yerp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that's why the same actors are playing the same characters.
Oh.
Right. And Flash's dad didn't get to become the Flash because he was in prison instead.
No, because he would have been the Flash before Barry was even born.
Yeah, the timeline doesn't quite work out to get all the way back.
Dude, ripple effect.
Yeah,
No.
but I do think that Barry's dad... There's two possibilities. Either Barry went back in time and tried to stop his mother's death from happening and saved himself, and that would account for Dr. Wells being able to be at two places at once, just like he was able to be two places at once. Adult Barry saving child Barry, okay?
Right.
Yep.
Or, when all this shit went down, where was Barry's dad during all this? So it could have been Barry's dad as the Flash, who saved Barry, but wasn't fast enough or strong enough to save his wife, and saw what was coming, and went back and put on regular clothes, and accepted the fact that he went to jail for the death of his wife.
Yep.
Or his dad is the reverse Flash, and he really did kill her, just not yet.
That could be, because the reverse Flash, even though Wells was standing in front of the suit and everything, the reverse Flash, to me, looked a lot bulkier.
That's what I was going to say. Like, he was broader. He had a squarer face.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like Eddie.
Which is the same jaw. I don't think it's Eddie, but it's the same jawline that John Wesley Shipp has.
Yeah.
Yes.
Guys.
Yes. Did we just blow your mind? Was it a little pop?
I had a bunch of theories going in, and now your theories are blowing away my theories. But I'm still going to talk about my theories. But
okay,
Okay, go ahead.
There's so much. So I think the time travel is a big thing, and I think the suit is a big thing. Because what if the Reverse Flash can only go backwards in time, and he needs to steal the tachyon so he can go forward in time, and that's why he's charging up the suit.
And that's why he would be the Reverse Flash, so he's our own little river song.
Right.
So he's traveling backwards, and that's why he's the Reverse Flash.
Right.
He could do the same thing, but he's traveling backwards in
He's
time.
getting older as things go on.
No, he's getting younger as things
Damn
go on.
it, he's getting young.
Did you
Just
forget
like
how
River
aging
Songs.
works?
The mind boggles. The mind boggles. All right, so do you want to dig right into the last scene, or do we want to work our way up through the episode to get to that point? Because the reveal of the secret room inside the secret room,
we kind of ruined that already, so
Right.
we might as well go back to the beginning and go.
Well, because the beginning starts at the end.
It does.
Right.
This is Memento all over again.
I know. I felt like it was unnecessary in this episode. Like, that really didn't serve a purpose.
No, and it wasn't like a crucial moment in the episode either. It was just when they were chasing each other during the first chase.
It was just to get the audience excited that we're going to see a confrontation between the two of them. That's all it was for.
And to work in some Christmas music and stuff and show pretty lights. Because this was, in addition to everything, this was our Christmas episode.
Yes.
Yay.
Which is kind of fun because we haven't had that on Arrow at all. I don't feel like
they totally had a tree this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
you
had a
haven't
tree
watched
this
it
week.
yet. Gosh.
Well,
Spoilers,
season
there's a
one.
Christmas
No,
tree.
season one, they had a Christmas party. Remember? He had a big party at the house.
Oh, was that the one that nobody came to?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel
That's
like
why they didn't celebrate Christmas the next year.
this one they embraced. They had more of like the family feel
Right.
of Christmas.
Well, this one has a more functional family than there is an Arrow.
And the growing...
Or they're all fighting and killing each other, yeah.
and lying.
They kind of have a growing extended family as well.
Right.
With Cisco and Caitlin showing up there at the end. That was fun.
Hey, I know you haven't seen this week's Arrow yet.
Yeah, so don't talk about it.
Oh my god, the lying. All right, we'll move on.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a Christmas episode,
it is,
so we've got to have some eggnog.
I love the eggnog. I love it. I love Aunt Esther's idea of light on the eggnog.
On the bourbon.
Light on the bourbon. Oh, so good. Tasty. And I love the decorate the tree really fast and undecorate the tree really fast. And then Iris comes out.
That was hysterical.
Aren't you guys going to decorate this tree? Gosh.
It's not going to decorate itself.
Right.
It kind of just did.
And I just like that in what could have been the darkest episode this season, it was their Christmas episode, and they had some lighter moments with it.
Right.
Well, it's a great comparison. Like, we were watching last week, the comparison between The Flash and Arrow. It's not the Arrow. It's a lighter show. It's a friendlier show, which is why I think a lot of people are starting to watch it more than they're watching the Arrow.
Right, because it's not as much of an effort to watch all the time. It's just fun. You can get the popcorn out.
I love Arrow, but it can be a little on the dark side, which is good.
Oh, wait till you see the next episode.
Fits
you have no idea.
Right, so we're going to stop teasing that, because I would be watching it right now
if
we weren't recording this.
Barry and Iris give each other a present, and she can't put the best microscope on the market in a box.
Right, she takes it out of the box and probably scratches the lens or something.
That's what
and does a really shitty job wrapping it. It's easier to wrap it if it's in the box.
Oh, and also hey, what's this? Oh, it looks like a microscope even before he unwraps it.
Did it fall off the back of a truck or something?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's a hot microscope.
Yeah, it's like the display unit from some lab, and she just...
When she was like, it's the best one on the market, it's the best one on the black microscope market. The microscope black market.
Yep, we're going to get some really dark Iris stories next season.
Yep.
I'm no scientist, but it doesn't really look like...
It looks like the one from the high school labs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. It looks like the one from the high school lab. Okay, so can I say something really quick? That you guys, they're supposedly, at the beginning of the season, they're starting college, right? So that means that they should be 18, 19, but somewhere in the middle of the season, suddenly they're old enough to go to a bar and drink.
No, because Iris was working on her thesis. I think a master's thesis in the very first episode.
Oh,
and Barry has degrees already.
Yeah, it was...
For some reason, I felt like they were just at the beginning of college.
No. She was finishing
up my bad.
School stuff.
No, I think they're supposed to be about 25.
All right. That's good then.
Yeah, everyone's
then
of
it's
legal
fine
age,
for her to move in with.
Even Cisco. Because we've seen them order drinks before. We saw them order drinks on Arrow at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the bar's run by a girl who's 19, so she's carding everybody.
And an assassin. The 19-year-old assassin bar runner.
Okay, so obviously Barry's gift for Iris is rather loaded with meaning. And even Eddie is like, I don't know, that's he gave you an engagement ring. And she's like, no. Barry, do you think he likes you? No.
She's an idiot.
I don't know.
But even she doesn't say, he's like a brother to me. She just says he's a friend.
Her best
She
friend.
could not be more blind.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of maybe one of those things where it's so close that you can't see it, but
maybe
he certainly makes his feelings clear this episode, which
everybody knows.
Now it's all out on the table. Everybody knows except Eddie, basically.
Eddie knows. Eddie can clearly tell. He's a detective.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely can clearly tell. He's the first one. He knew it right away. But how awkward was it when he walked into the house towards the end and she's sitting in Eddie's lap?
Yeah.
Awkward. And seriously, do you sit, if you're having a Christmas party in your dad's house and you're dating your dad's partner, are you really going to sit in his lap like that?
I guess so.
I guess
she went there.
Yeah.
Well, she's
an independent woman.
She couldn't sit in her regular spot because Cisco and Caitlin were there. So
they didn't have enough seating for everybody, so they had to double up.
Got to go with a lap. Got to go with a lap seat.
Yep.
That's my story. I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, it's a good thing Wells brings his own chair.
But he didn't.
He shouldn't drink and drive.
Okay, so they're also exchanging presents early.
Okay, Why is it that nobody on this show can wait till Christmas to exchange gifts?
Well, because,
Because they're excited.
on Christmas they don't normally show new episodes of TV shows.
Right.
Because everyone's like, oh, I know Christmas is 2 weeks from now, but let's exchange gifts now.
Right.
Every single character on that show has no patience for gifts exchange.
Nope.
I can
Just
respect
saying.
that. Okay, so Caitlin's going to give Wells a present to cheer him up. Barry just gave him a present, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
what do you think was in the box? What's in the box?
Booze.
Yeah,
That's what it
looked
looked like
a
to me.
booze one. Some boozahol.
But Caitlin did say she was going to get him the new book by
Stephen Hawking.
No, it
Stephen
was
Hawking.
between something else and that, and she knows how he feels about Hawking, so she didn't get him the book.
It's just some
Okay.
WD-40 for his chair so it doesn't squeak.
lights.
She got him a seatbelt so he wouldn't get thrown out again next time metahumans attack.
Some of those sparkly wheels that light up.
A roll cage.
Oh, God. A roll cage. Wow. So now he can do wheelchair derby?
Well, just next time some metahuman tries to lightning him to death,
Right.
he doesn't get
One man
sprawled across
enters,
the floor.
one man leaves. So
Caitlin goes shopping, and she runs into somebody she knows.
All right, so let me just say, if somebody comes up behind you in a mall parking garage and they look kind of creepy, I don't care if they look like your dead fiancé. Don't go following them around into a more secluded part of the parking structure. Like, that's not a good idea.
what's a good idea is a roundhouse.
Yep. Lead with the purse.
But anyway, so she goes and finds the flaming hunk that is her
Dead fiance.
dead
Dead
fiancé. But he's not. He's like, I'm not Ronnie.
Yeah, well, at least he named himself.
Fires.
No, I think there's somebody else out there naming metahumans.
Oh God, that's a job to have.
Well, Iris is trying to do it. She's just terrible at
Yeah,
it.
she's just like, oh, you mean
The streak.
Burning Man?
The Burning Man.
The Burning Man. No, that's a party in the desert.
Right. I haven't updated that story in a while. Okay, so this is something that's been building up, too. Like, we saw the teaser last week that Firestorm was scaring some muggers. And he shows up again in this episode. Do you think this was the episode to show? Because there was really a lot of other stuff going on this episode. It felt a little crammed in. Do you think they just had him to show up there at the end? Or was there actual emotional heft to this one? To kind of give Caitlin something to do? Or
I think they were trying to give her something to do. She just couldn't.
not so hot at the acting, that one.
I see what you did there.
We're getting banned in China again.
Oh, I'm on fire tonight.
Oh no.
They're getting worse.
Oh my God. Somebody extinguish him already. I don't want to throw any cold water on your theories here, but
No, you're just trying to blow me off.
yeah, I'm just trying to blow you off.
All right, then. So,
So, then there's a guy in a yellow suit, right? Is that what happens next?
yeah, so this episode kind of takes a weird turn because this is not something that, like, I don't know. The man in the yellow suit just kind of comes out of nowhere. And he wants to steal this thing from Mercury Labs, which we can talk about the significance of Mercury being the god of, what, speed?
Speed.
Yerp.
The equivalent there of Apollo,
No, of Hermes.
of Hermes.
And apparently he delivers flowers as well.
Sure. FTD.
Mm-hmm. Haley has no idea what we're talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So, they're working on the technology of the future. So, could you be more vague and ominous about that? But they're working with the aforementioned tachyon particles. And this is apparently what the man in the yellow suit wants. So he tries to steal it. And he takes out some guards, but then is stopped by a glass door. Which I was kind of like, okay, they need to rig up some magical force field to stop him, but he's stopped by a glass door, basically,
Well,
at Mercury Labs.
yeah. What we really needed was a crime scene for Eddie to be like, the Flash did this, so
Yeah.
I've got to be in on this. It was to bring him into the fold.
So do you think that was deliberate?
Yes.
So you think that the reverse...
Absolutely.
So the Reverse Flash set everything up and then let himself be trapped at Star Labs?
All right, now I think that we need to make a distinction here because there's a difference between, the P-Streak setting everything up and Dr. Wells. And I think... Let's just say that they're two different people. I don't think the P-Streak set it up. I think Dr. Wells set it up. I think Dr. Wells, the moment at the beginning when he finds out that they're working on Techron particle accelerators or whatever it was that they're using, he decided he needed to get his hands on that. So he manipulated all the other events that took place from the beginning to the end of the episode so that he can get his hands on that tachyon.
Okay, do we all think that they're different people?
I think that they are two separate physical entities at the point in time when we see them in this episode. Okay. I think that they could be the same person.
Just at different points in their timeline.
Points in their timelines.
Okay.
Sure. Or it could be someone else who is working for Wells.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Do we think they're adversaries or allies?
I mean, I don't know.
Because I think Wells is completely capable of manipulating an adversary in a way that still gets him what he wants.
Yeah. I typed a big in my show notes because that's kind of how I felt about this episode.
I have a lot of question marks and exclamation points in my notes. So
yeah. There's so much. I really, really have to hand it to the writers and the directors of this episode because they give us so much, but it raises so many more questions that it actually answers. Like the secret room inside the secret room that can only be opened with a ring that has the Flash logo on it.
Oh, yeah, there's that thing.
Backwards, but still, it's the ring with the Flash logo.
Oh, and we get the costume rings?
Yeah.
Which, those are a thing in the comics.
Yeah, in the comics, his costume is like super compressed inside the ring and it just pops out. But is it the costume that gives him his power? Or is his power separate from the suit? Does he have Speed Force power, or is it only when he wears the suit?
When he was looking at the suit, he modulated his voice the way Barry does and the way the Reverse Flash did.
He was also in close physical proximity to the suit.
But he wasn't wearing the suit.
He wasn't wearing the suit, but he was close enough to him. And when he's that close, you see his wounds start to heal.
Right.
Oh, I didn't notice his wounds healing.
See, the second time I watched, I was like, are his wounds healing? Or is it just like a lighting thing and I didn't have a chance to rewatch the scene?
But if his wounds heal that quickly, isn't everybody else going to notice?
Well, I mean, he didn't show up to the
Christmas party.
Yeah.
Right, and maybe everyone's going to take a week or two off for the holidays.
You're not going to see him for a couple of weeks. It's convenient timing.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
I do think Wells is the Yellow Streak. I do think he is.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I think he's...
But in different points in time.
He's involved with the opposite Flash.
You mean the Speed Psycho?
Although, how the hell were they in one place at the same time?
They weren't. There were two of them.
Right.
I don't... But...
Or was he manipulating the suit?
So you think there was no one in the suit?
He was just controlling it?
There is no man in the yellow suit.
Yeah, but there was somebody in the suit because he was talking to them and acknowledging them when they walked in. Yeah. But he was there, so he could have been controlling it. I don't know. I'm so confused. Somebody hold me.
Or is it Gorilla Grodd?
Oh, my God, Gorilla Grodd.
Dude, there was no man in the yellow suit. It was just Grodd making them all think they saw somebody in a suit.
They thought they saw it.
Yep.
Barry beat himself up. He fight clubbed himself.
Wells
did. Well, You're right. That's
Barry
a strong
got
possibility.
Wells got beat up. Yeah.
That Gorilla Grodd did something.
And also, the man in the yellow suit spares Eddie. Because in one of the incarnations of the Reverse Flash, it's actually a descendant of Eddie.
Yeah.
So if it's backwards Reverse Flash who's traveling backwards in time, it could be Eddie's grandson.
Could be.
Or it could be Eddie.
Eddie himself.
Oh my God, that makes perfect sense because it could be Eddie because he ends up losing Iris to Barry. Barry ends up marrying Iris in his timeline. He hates Barry so much, something happens where he becomes a Reverse Flash and travels back in time to try and destroy Barry.
Yep. That is a possible outcome of all of this.
Drop mic, walk out of the room. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are done.
But if that's what happens, then what's up with Wells?
What is up with Wells? All right. You guys
My
hear
exact note is, what the fuck is up with Wells?
What the fuck is up with Wells? All right.
What's up with Wells? What's up with Wells?
I have a question. What do you think his middle name is?
George.
You think so? Do you think he's H.G. Wells?
I like it.
The Time Machine?
The author of the Time Machine and many other...
and many other classic works of science fiction.
The Invisible Man.
The Invisible
originator,
Man.
yeah, the originator of steampunk.
Yep. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're a time traveler and you're going to pick a pseudonym to go by, hey, how about H.G. Wells?
But I thought Warehouse 13 established that H.G. Wells was a woman.
Alternate timeline.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
okay.
I don't know. I mean, we could spin different theories out about Wells, but I don't necessarily know what good it's going to do us. It's fun to speculate, but
Until our pudding brains blow up.
right. I mean, we could have just hours of us being like, well, what if?
Okay.
What if it's
so,
this?
You know what Cisco said?
No, what did Cisco say?
There were two of them. There were two of them. That's what I said.
Two of them.
There can
Which
be only one.
I knew, and I feel like we talked about it. It looks
Yeah,
like there's
because
red
we,
and
from the very
yellow
first
lightning.
episode, we were like, dude, there were
Oh, yeah.
totally two of them.
Two of them spinning around there.
Yeah.
So, do you think that, like, Barry was faced with a choice? He can either save his mother or save himself, and he saves himself and his mother dies?
Because if he doesn't save himself,
Then he can't save his mother.
then he can't go back in time and save his mother.
Or save the rest of everyone else that he cares about in the future?
And I think the yellow streak told him that, and he had to make a choice right then and there. But then again, I mean, it doesn't make sense because it creates a paradox. Just the two of the same person traveling in time and coming into contact with that same individual within their own timeline creates a paradox.
Traveling in time at all pretty much creates a paradox. It's unavoidable.
True.
Brain exploding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I-
Not fair.
I cannot wait to see where this goes. And we already kind of get a preview that it's going to go towards the Flash wanting to make himself faster. And because he's going to want every edge that he can get over the Reverse Flash, including altering his suit and powering up.
I do love that when he met the Reverse Flash, or the first time he met the Reverse Flash, or the Peace Streak, or whatever we want to call him, he says to him, Barry, you and I have been at this for a long time.
Right.
And once again, it's almost like River Song knowing everything and not giving any spoilers.
Right. Because the Reverse Flash is definitely from the future.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind about that.
So he's battled the Flash in the future, but now he's working his way backwards?
I don't know
Right.
if he's working his way backwards or if he jumped back.
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
I think I have some blood coming out of my ears right,
Right?
now.
Or blood
Just
coming
a
out of
little
my eyes when I'm watching it. I'm like, But it was a really, really good episode. So
No, it
I
was awesome. Awesome.
And we got another lovely little scene between Barry and Joe where Joe makes it clear that it's a father-son relationship. And you're like, aw.
Oh, no. There were two
right,
daddy,
'Cause we had
son, father, son,
actual father, and then pseudo father.
Right.
and pseudo father. And both of them, I got the feels.
Yep.
I got the feels on both of them. Although I'm really glad that they were able to avoid that old trope of Barry putting his hand on the window and then his dad putting his hand on the window.
Because he could have just vibrated it, broken the glass, and then...
Trope alert.
Well, it's not as cute when it's an adult guy.
True.
So, you do think that Barry's father is somehow involved more than we think that he is? Or more than we know he is so far?
Yeah, because we haven't heard anything from him, so I really think that Barry's father is much more involved.
I think it's possible. I'm not 100% sure that that's a thing or anything like that, but it is a possibility.
I think that there's going to be a very strong connection between this Flash and the Flash of the 1990s. It's just unavoidable.
they'll flash back.
See, it's possible that there's a connection, but it might just be that the creators of the show are fans of the old show, and they want to bring in these little Easter eggs.
I could see that 1, maybe 2, but when you get into, like, casting Mark Hamill...
Yeah, because Mark Hamill is a big-ticket item.
Yeah.
Right, but if you have the opportunity to cast Mark Hamill, of course you're going to do it.
I don't know if it's so much an opportunity as much as it is going after him. Like, creating that opportunity. It's not like, hey, look who suddenly became available because he's been shooting 3 new movies.
Right.
And, like he suddenly became available.
Yeah.
Oh, let's put him on this TV show. No, I think that they went after him and said, we want to bring you back in the same role.
And he's like, of course. And then he does the creepy Joker laugh. Yeah.
Which I can't do.
No, nobody can.
Except for Mark Hamill.
So I'm excited to see him show up. I need to go back and watch the 90s Flash. Because
he's going to look a lot older, and he's going to have to shave that Jedi beard.
Or do you think?
Which
maybe not.
I wonder
maybe
if
not.
I wonder if he dies in the first Star Wars movie.
Possibly.
Spoilers.
Free time.
So suddenly he has all his free time to do TV now. Interesting. They obviously don't need him for episode 8 and 9.
When 900 years old you reach, look so good you will not. It was a pretty bad Yoda impression.
Yes, it is.
Oh, see, that's good. You're good at it. No, I'm not. All right, so other stuff in this episode, because this was, again, jam-packed. Let's talk about tracking down Firestorm and how if you're in a dark tunnel and you're a scientist, of course you just use your cell phone camera. Flashlight,
oh, wait,
right?
If you're in a dark tunnel and you're a scientist and the lights above you are obviously lit, you're still going to use your cell phone camera light.
Well, yeah.
The lights were still on in the tunnel. And they were still using their, like, cell phone lights, which I was like, why do you even have that on? You're just wasting your battery.
So if you have cool fire powers, what can you do with those cool powers?
Fly.
You can fly.
Light a cigarette?
You can light a cigarette. You can fly. You can...
Yeah, since when does fire make you fly?
Since the 60s with the Human Torch. No, earlier than that, like the 40s.
I mean...
with the first Human Torch.
I think probably something to do with, like, afterburners on a jet plane. Like, they're like...
Well, yeah, kind of rockets. And then there was also some BS about, like, manipulating air density and stuff like that, too. Using heat to do that.
Well, he did fly like Iron Man.
Yep.
Out of his hands. And
yeah, that was cool. So are those the only parts of his body that can ignite? Like, the rest of them just...
Nope. Imagine that, but everywhere.
That's... Did you just quote Fantastic Four?
I did. Okay. I did just
well
do that.
Done.
Yep.
Well done. Nice pull.
Nice
pull.
Nice.
Are you saying you understood that reference?
I understood that reference. Wait, Chris Evans, damn it! Oh,
it's all
my
connected.
brain's exploding again.
But yet, once again, like we were discussing on our very first episode, his clothes don't light on fire.
Right.
His clothes are fine.
Unstable
I'll have to
molecules.
Go back and look. I can't remember if that's what he was wearing when the accident happened. He was in just street clothes.
Well, it's hard to tell. This is all like tattered and worn out now.
But he wasn't.
I think he was wearing a suit or something.
No, I'm pretty sure he was just in... Because he wasn't... I don't know. I am a little disappointed that we didn't see him Dr. Manhattan and just kind of like show up, but I guess they...
With a giant blue schlong?
Well, it would be red and flaming, but, you know.
So, you're saying he had a flaming schlong? A little antibiotics would help that.
You should definitely see a doctor.
Yeah, definitely. Who have you been with in the last 6 months?
No one. He's been disappeared. Everybody thought he was dead.
Right. And he looked like a crazy hobo guy. Nobody was going to get with that.
Yeah, when I went to the doctor with the same problem, he didn't believe me either.
Okay, so in the episode where the reactor blew up, he was wearing like a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up. So he didn't have the crazy hobo jacket.
No, obviously he's like stole that from some homeless person or something.
That didn't catch on fire either.
No. Nor did his beard, nor his hair.
Well, the beard and hair, you could say, it's part of him. So whatever effect gave him the fire powers, protects his...
Which, by the way, how does Superman shave?
Laser vision and mirrors.
There's laser vision and mirrors. He could...
just scratch it off?
With his fingernails?
Yep.
Wouldn't that leave marks? I mean...
No, because you can't penetrate his skin.
But he could with his own nails.
I don't know, dude.
That's always bothered me.
I think the standard answer is heat vision. But yeah, like if he sneezes or something.
See, you're all reaching.
Well, I think the comics reach on that one too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, they didn't want to ever have to deal with it,
Yeah,
but then they kept getting the question, so they're like, well, fine, we'll deal with it. Aren't you glad you asked?
I guess.
Aren't you glad?
I didn't say banana. There was so much going on in this episode, I had a hard time taking notes.
I watched it twice, and I feel like I'm leaving stuff out.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
Yeah, me too.
Cisco, I know we do like the fashion report. Cisco he recycled t-shirts he's worn before.
Right.
I was disappointed with that. I'm like, I've seen those t-shirts before.
We can't always have a new t-shirt, man.
I think they have to up their game and have like better t-shirts every episode. I mean, make that one of the fun, cute little things that they do.
I don't know. It makes sense. He's living on a budget.
Yeah.
It all got blown up in the particle accelerator explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin put her hair back in a ponytail, like Felicity. That was interesting. Although that was her kind of slumming it. She's like, oh, I didn't really get much sleep last night, so my hair's in a ponytail.
Well, we've met Felicity. She's no Felicity.
No.
Okay, so she can't act, but she does give solid relationship advice again. Like,
yes.
Go talk to him.
I don't think there's anything wrong with her character. It's not the material that she's been being given.
Right.
She
The
just
delivery.
can't. Iris wears fuzzy sweaters, including one that made it look like she had chest hair. I don't know if you guys caught that. But
I missed that, I guess.
when she goes to Barry's lab, she's wearing like a dark fuzzy sweater, and like just around the collar, it looks like she has chest hair poking out.
Yeah, I saw that. And then she was wearing these really weird leggings that were all red and black. They were red with black stripes.
They were festive.
They looked like a superhero outfit.
What? Like a superhero costume?
Yes.
That's crazy talkness.
Except for the capes. No capes.
No capes.
No, capes are dumb.
Capes are very dumb.
Man. This was a good episode.
It was.
It leaves me so anticipating more Flash.
And how many weeks do we have to the next Flash?
5 long weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks? I can't wait 5 weeks! Do we have something else to fill up our time?
We do. We have cartoons.
Yay for cartoons!
Yay, more cartoons.
And we've decided that during the hiatus, we will be watching some of the animated movies that featured the Barry Allen Flash.
Which ones?
Well, I have 3, and if we manage to record 3 podcasts during the holidays, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be a miracle.
So the ones on the list are Justice League New Frontier, Justice League Doom, and Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. And we will be starting with the last one, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's super flashy.
Super flashy. He runs around with a trench coat.
Yep.
And speaking of Flashpoint Paradox, I feel like that storyline is heavily influencing this one that they're building here, right?
Definitely.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know that we're going to be down. We're going to be down for Christmas, right?
Right.
Yeah, everybody's doing different stuff, and we know that our listeners are too, so we hope that you'll tune in when you see a new episode pop up and be patient when you don't see one.
Yeah, because we all got different things going on. I know that John's traveling, I'm traveling, and we're traveling on opposite weeks. So
jerks.
I know.
Right.
But, I'll do my best because I'll be with my family during Christmas week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that my nephews listen and watch the shows. So maybe, we'll watch one of the cartoons as a family and I can come back and report to you and say what they said.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think maybe we'll spend some time just, theorizing some more. Probably at some point we will let you know our theories.
Yeah. And if you've got any theories or thoughts on the half season that we've had as a whole so far, feel free to share those with us.
Oh, please. More than free. We'll pay you. No, we won't pay you.
We won't pay you.
We don't have the budget for that.
You can hit us up on Twitter and stuff. I'm at John Lobster. Tweet me. We'll talk.
I'm at Awesome Engineering Girl, but it's spelled weird. AWSMENGRGRL.
It's difficult.
Right.
Oh, you know what? You could. No, I'm at Small Scream.
Yeah. Or you could hit Crimson Podcast. That's right.
On the Twitter.
At Crimson Podcast.
All right.
On
so
Tapatalk.
Final-ish thoughts. I'm reading everybody else's show notes to see if there's anything that we missed. And yes, I love Joe's house too.
Oh yeah, Joe's house. He lives in Old Craftsman.
Yeah,
always been one of my dream homes to live in. And it's always been a dream home.
And it's very fitting of that Midwest prairie style, right? Because that's where Central City is. That's the type of house that is common.
Yes, with the wood beams and everything. Yeah, I love that.
Architecture nerds.
Yeah, they even did it right with the matching furniture.
Yep,
it's all very Lloyd Wright type of stuff.
Yes. There's actually a Frank Lloyd Wright house in my city that's not that far away. I mean, I can walk there and look at it. It's nice.
Oh, I grew up in Chicago, and there's quite a few in the area.
Sure. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's lots of stuff in our notes that's cool.
Yeah, we read each other's notes and go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
Oh yeah, that thing.
Oh yeah, I like that part too.
That thing.
Hey.
All right, we can't talk. We can't sing. I forgot.
And we had lots of references to going back to one of our other theories that Flash and Dr. Wells are very much alike, and we still haven't ruled out the fact that Wells might be future Barry.
Right.
I still can't rule that out. I don't think it's likely.
It's still a possibility.
It's still a possibility, or a descendant of Barry, or I don't know.
It's all connected.
It may.
Well, you know what? I have some more theories I'll share next time we record after we watch Flashpoint Paradox.
All right.
Yes, because that'll bring up a whole bunch of...
Yeah, it'll bring a whole mess of new worms into this can.
Okay.
New can of worms.
I was trying to follow that one. Okay, got it.
Yeah. The words weren't quite in the right order, but it's fine.
But we can work with that. We can figure that out.
Okay. So what have we learned this week, guys?
I learned that Grandma Esther and I would really get along.
I think we all would.
Oh, yeah. I learned that apparently fire can make you fly.
Whoosh.
That's what I took away from it.
And I learned that you shouldn't wait until Christmas to open your presents.
No, just get it out of the way.
Right. Yep, I've been opening them as I get them.
Yep.
All right.
That's a good idea.
As you get them for other people, you wrap them, reopen them, and give them to yourself.
Hey, guys. Happy holidays.
You too.
Happy Flashikaa?
Flashikaa? Flashikaa?
Flashikaa.
Festive Flashikaa.
Very festive Flashikaa. The man in the red suit, the man in the yellow suit.
Means something completely different to us.
Yep.
So I just got the feels.
Yeah.
I just got the feels.
I got the feels again.
Oh, right in the feels. Ugh.
Hold me, Joe. Hold me.
Well, if you guys are enjoying the show, go ahead and leave us an iTunes review. With all the poop jokes, I think 2-star reviews are appropriate.
And even if you don't enjoy the show, leave us a review, because at least you're talking about us.
Right.
If only there was a brown star that they could leave us.
Or now a yellow one.
A yellow
There are yellow stars.
There are yellow stars. That's right.
I think there's something. They might be gray now with the iTunes. I don't know.
Well, it depends on what you look at it on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Leave us reviews.
I have a black and white monitor.
We feel like we've stepped up our game, so...
Yeah, I definitely think we're up to 2 stars at this point.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, maybe 2.5.
We're actually starting to do some research.
Yeah.
And not on the air.
And we have way more poop jokes than any of the other Flash podcasts out there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That we know of.
Carry clean underwear, everyone.
Oh, boy.
But if you want to contact us with information, you can go to the website, crimsoncometpodcast.com.
Yeah, you'll find all of our contact information there. All right. Well, this has been Crimson Comet, episode 10. Join us next week as we discuss the DC animated movie Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox. Until then, I'm Haley.
I'm John a Lobster.
And I'm Will.
Bye.
Bye.
So long.
Whoosh.
Thanks for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, you can find all of our contact information at crimsoncometpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter at Crimson Podcast or Facebook at facebook.com/Crimson Comet Podcast. Leave us a voicemail at 423-FLASH53. That's 423-352-7453. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Gonna Geek. The podcast is not affiliated with DC Comics, Warner Brothers, or the CW. No infringement is intended. The music heard is by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.
Nothing worse than subpar bisque.
It's the worst.
Subpar brisk?
A brisk is pretty subpar, let me tell you.
Oh, God. Taste. Yeah.
You don't want to cut it short.
I mean. Just a tip.
Just a tip.
Yeah, for
Can
real.
we start?
Fine,
I'm
God.
about to hang up.
I helped a woman fix her phone the other day, and she went to shake my hand afterwards, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. She had a wadded up used tissue in her palm.
Ew!
Ew! That's how you got sick.
Oh! The plague.
Well, I
She's
Germexed my
patient.
hands for like 12 minutes after
Well,
that, but
I mean, you probably felt something in her hand and thought, okay, she's like palming me a tip or something, because that's what you do, right?
right?
And ew!
No. Like,
That's
who does
icky
that?
caca.
God.
Who does that?
Oh,
Apparently the woman in Kansas.
Jesus
People
Christ,
are the
get hell
worst.
out of there.
And it was.
I hate
Did you-
people.
Did you take her phone back and then just step on it? Like,
I should have spiked it across the
Bitch.
store.
Or licked it.
I don't think I want to lick her phone.
Yeah, there.
left a-
See how it
left a
feels.
brown streak on it?
Ugh. That's why I have the plague.
Yeah.
People are
You weren't
fucking
sick?
disgusting.
You weren't sick before then?
No, I was.
Okay.
But people are just fucking disgusting. It's handling
People
money.
are.
That's what makes you sick.
Ugh. Yeah.
Don't touch it. That's why I carry no cash.
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
I
like
work
that.
in education.
So
And
you,
I never got sick as often as I did working retail.
Rick sent us an email, and he's renamed the Reverse Flash the Urine Streak.
Ah, he is the yellow streak.
So we've got number 1 and number 2.
Yeah. Oh, the defecation jokes will never end on this podcast.
Never. You know what? That's what we've got going for us. So
Poop jokes, and now pee jokes.
it's important to find a niche. Welcome to episode 10 of Crimson Comet. This week we'll
Try
be
again.
God damn it. Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, I know we're all supposed to have had the big revelation that the pee streak is Dr. Nefarious. I'm
Who?
sorry, hold on.
The what?
Hold on. No, one of my dogs just farted so bad.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Is it green?
It stinks in here. Oh my god.
Your dog is possessed by Fart Man.
Holy shit. Oh god.
Will has gone to the dogs.
Oh god. I'm like, what is that smell? Oh my god. All right, let me try this again. I'm going to try not to laugh. All right. And Rick says,